I just got my Imperium delivery for the month, so let's see what's inside. Here we've got issue 3 of Imperium, and as you can see on the front we've got 3 Assault Intercessors and a pot of Macragge Blue paint. Now these Assault Intercessors are a little bit disappointing, because if you can see on the shoulder pads, let's see if we can find one, there. These are ultramarine only, these are from the ultramarine paint set. So this would cost £22.50 if you bought it, and you get 3 marines and I think it's 6 paints. So we get 3 marines and 1 paint for £8.99. So it's actually quite good value if you're into ultramarines. If you want to paint these as something else, you'll have to file down the shoulder pad, which is a bit disappointing. Anyway, let's get into the magazine. So we've just got the usual description of the Assault Intercessors. So on this page we've got the battle record, and you can give it a squad name, and you can roll a dice and name your guys. You can give them specialisms and achievements, and just keep a record of how they do in battles. As I said in the last episode, this is all a great touch, I love it. We've got more fluff there about the Imperium and how it's split in half. We've got the Imperium Nihilus and the Imperium Sanctus, so the good bit and the bad bit, although some might say it's all bad. A bit about Tomb Worlds as well. There's a lot of fluff in this issue. There's a bit about the Great Sleep and how Zarek pooped his pants when he saw the younger races coming to kick their heads in after they had defeated the old ones. So they went to sleep under their Tomb Worlds, and they remained there until conditions were right for them to re-emerge. The Canoptek were the caretakers of the Necrons, so they fought off anyone that came to hurt them while they were asleep. A wee bit about a battle, the assault on Drakthir. As I always say, I'll let you read that, because I don't want to spoil everything. This shows you how to build your Assault Intercessors. There's 32mm bases, and how to put them all together. Now this is the same as last time. It's going to tell you to paint the Ultramarines blue directly onto the plastic. So I'm going to do that at the end of the video, and you can see if it works or not. I'm not going to bother doing an undercoat one, because I think from last week we proved that the paint does stick. I just want to see how much it sticks, and I'll probably use my Lieutenant for a different chapter. I'm not going to use them Ultramarines. I'll sacrifice these guys because they've already got the shoulder pads moulded on. As usual, there's a playthrough at the end, and this one is to teach you how to fight in close combat. There's actually no shooting phase for the Assault Intercessors in this, so the Necrons can shoot but the Intercessors can't. These are always fun to play through. One thing to note is you do need the board from the first couple of issues, so make sure you've got that to hand. So issue 4 comes with quite a lot of stuff. It comes with a new board, a much bigger one, so that you can fight with all the new guys that you've got. You'll be building up your armies week over week, so it makes sense to get a bigger board when you've got more guys to put on it. You can't always fight on that tiny wee thing. Miniatures wise, we've got 3 Scorpec destroyers and a plasma sight. Believe it or not, these cost £34.50 on the Games Workshop website. So if you pick this issue up for £8.99, then it's well worth it. Well worth the money. We also get a pot of lead belcher to help with painting our Necrons in the Zarakan Dynasty scheme. I'll paint one of them, but I'm not going to paint them all. So here we go with the magazine. As you can see, a wee bit about the Scorpec destroyers. We've got the battle record again, completely different to the Primaris one of course. So you've got unit designation, gifts of destruction, decay of the self, engrammatic viral payload. So you've got all these different fields to fill out if you want to, and it looks very cool. The creation of a Space Marine. Now we've all seen this in many different ways across the years. This one looks especially creepy. Here's a bit about aspirants. This is actually quite timely because the latest Hammer and Bolter was all about Space Wolf aspirants. You can read a bit about the Primarchs, probably everyone knows about that. Apothecaries, Gene Seed, and the Warp. The Warp's a very interesting place, but usually in Games Workshop stuff it's just used as a mechanism to keep Space Marines where you want them to be, because it's otherwise very difficult to keep superhuman warriors in one place if they don't want to be there. A bit about navigators, and that's how they would navigate through the warp. The Astronomicon, which is the beacon from Terra. Lots of bad stuff comes from the warp and the human mind can't comprehend it, so if you didn't have a Geller field around your ship when you translated to the warp, then everyone on board would go mad. There's a bit about Blackstone as well, but I'll let you read about that yourself. because it's actually integral to the way the whole Warhammer 40k universe is unfolding. The Necrons have got the Pariah Nexus, and that's all based around Blackstone. It's all very complicated. We've got instructions on how to build your Scorpec destroyers, and of course your plasma sight. And with this, we'll be painting the Scorpec destroyers in Runelord brass straight onto the plastic. So painting Runelord brass directly onto plastic actually works. I did it in my last video, and it worked a lot better than I expected. I was actually laughing at it beforehand, but it actually worked fine. It seems like these base paints work as undercoats as well, so that's great. It lowers the barrier to entry, so that's always a good thing for the hobby. And it shows we're using lead belcher to paint the assault intercessors, and we're painting the weapons as well for the Necrons. There's another scenario, and it looks like it's back to close combat again. Doesn't look like the Space Marines have got a shoot profile in this one. They can move, charge and fight. So it's just to reinforce what you learned in the last issue, which is pretty cool. So that's it for issue 4. We're on to the much sought after issue 5 next, and you'll see why it's sought after in a wee minute. So here we are with issue 5, and this is the one everyone's losing their mind over, because you get the Primaris Captain in it, and I believe this is the only unique model in the entire subscription. So they have flown off the shelves and they're very difficult to get, and I think eBay would be your only option now. It looks decent, very detailed model. I do like it, but I'm not sure what I'll be doing with it. I don't know why, but he looks quite Space Wolfy to me, apart from the laurel wreath on his shoulder pad and on his head. I think he'd make a great Space Wolf. So we'll put that to the side and get stuck into the magazine. So there's a wee explanation about the Primaris Captain there, and there's the battle record for him. So you get his name, you can roll to name him, you can give him a title, leadership style. I assume since he's a Space Marine it'll be shoot everything and hit everything with your sword. He's got his pistol, which you can name, and his sword. You can also put in all his good deeds in the bottom there. There's a bit about chapter armories there, all the different types of melee weapons. You got a power fist, thunder hammer, power axe, power sword and chain sword. I think out of all of them, just because they were unattainable when I was little, were thunder hammers. They were only available with a Space Hulk expansion that I could never afford, so I never actually got a Terminator with a thunder hammer until I was much older, and now they're everywhere. So there's a bit, the war for Ramesis, which is of course the system that we're fighting over, and the planet's called Megaria. So more fluff. You get to know a bit about the locations you'll be fighting over. There's another story over there. Always a good read. The Crimson Slaughter are being introduced now, which is strange because they're not even in the subscription. You'd think it would be all about Necrons. Here's the instructions on how to build the Primaris Captain. So this is showing you the first stage about painting your Primaris Captain, and it's telling you to paint directly onto plastic. Now, I've mentioned before, I don't think this is a good idea, even though I've proven it does work. But if you're doing a character, please just put an undercoat on it. Do your best work, because the characters are going to be the focal point of your whole army. So just try hard. It's also telling you to put lead belcher directly on, and from my experience, lead belcher doesn't stick very well, but we'll be trying that later on, so don't worry about that. I will do it so you don't have to. So it looks like the scenario is going to have the Primaris Captain and the Scorpec destroyers. Yet again, it's all about melee, and it's about fighting someone who's also in melee with you, because before it was only the Space Marines that were hitting, so the Necrons get a chance to hit back instead of just shooting. So you can see how this works. It builds up and builds up your knowledge of the rules until you'll become fluent in them. It's a good system, and I actually really like it, and I'd recommend it for people that are new to the game. It really helps. So that was the Fabled issue 5. There's also a little leaflet that comes with it about dynastic hierarchy. This is just more fluff about the Necrons. Look how spectacular a Necron army can look when it's well painted. Fabulous. I don't think I'll ever get to that point. I always want to do some kind of different colour scheme and never get around to it. I don't actually enjoy painting Necrons that much. It's very cool though, very cool imagery there. And last but not least, we've got issue 6, and we've got easy build aggressors. So there's only one option with this, and it's the flamer ones. So you get 3 of them, get the bases, and we also get a pot of Abaddon Black. So we're building up our paint supply as well. They don't seem to have these easy build aggressors anywhere on the website anymore, but the normal ones, the full kit, is £30, but that's not the proper price because they've got a lot more options in that kit. It seems like they're just trying to get rid of these ones. This is the only duplicate kit, I believe, from Conquest, so that's not too bad, but you still get the easy build ones. I prefer the other ones with the rocket launchers on the back though. Right, into the magazine. Sorry, I'll call them by their proper name. It's Flamestorm Gauntlets. As usual, battle record, name, specialism, squad name. You can roll for all of that kind of stuff. Got a bit about Necron nobility. The Necrons are actually really interesting, just not to paint, in my opinion. I've got far too many Necrons and I don't know what to do with them. So this will tell you how to build your Primaris aggressors. 40mm base, so they're big boys. So as usual, we're going to be painting them with this pot of Macragge Blue, which, considering they want you to give 3 coats per person, they're wanting that to stretch a long way for just one pot. You put the lead belcher on and you can paint in seals and stuff like that with black. So they're actually starting to take shape. I'll try doing all this on the Ultramarines only Assault Intercessors and see how I get on. The scenario this time is called Fire Support, and it looks like we're going to be using the aggressors plus the Necron Royal Warden and the Scorpec Destroyers. Doesn't really seem fair to me, but we'll see how it pans out. So we're going to move, shoot, charge, fight, which is cool. This means it's almost a full turn. Move, shoot, charge, fight. I don't imagine you'd want to get your aggressors into close combat though. And that's it for issue 6. That was quite a short one. Not much in it. So in issue 7, which isn't coming until next month, we'll get Mechanicus Standard Grey, Corax White and Retributor Armour. And then in issue 8 we'll get the Necron Overlord, which is quite an old model now I think. So now I'm going to get the Assault Intercessor and see how he looks when I'm using this paint guide here. So here we are with the Assault Intercessor. I've got my palette pad, which I had lying around. I've got fresh water. I've got a rubbishy old brush because I'm not going to use one of my newer ones on this, so it's an old Citadel base brush. Don't scoop paint out with your newer brushes if you buy some Broken Toads or Winsor & Newtons or something like that, because it will do some damage to them eventually. Dip your brush in, swidge it about, and start applying onto all the panels. That actually adheres really nicely. So I'm going to do the rest of this off camera, and then we'll come back when it's all done. Good thing about push fit is you can take bits off if you need to. So there he is with the first pass of Macragge Blue. Now we'll do Abaddon Black. I've changed to a proper brush now because I need to get into seals and stuff like that, so they're quite small areas. Best thing I can say about painting seals is think about the shape of your brush and how they would fit in, and just be confident, get it in there. There's lots of wee bits on the Primaris, like he's got a wee undersuit that you can see in here underneath. Just get in as well as you can. All these packs will be black as well. Abaddon Black's a bit thinner than the Macragge Blue, but still a couple of coats will see it cover okay. We'll get his chainsword as well. If you want to make things easier for you, paint all the bits that are going to be silver black as well, because silver takes a lot better over black than it does over bare plastic, I bet. I'm going to try it over bare plastic though, just so it's an accurate representation of what they're telling you to do. I'm going to do the casing of the gun as well. Can't forget the soles of the feet. Last test is lead belcher. Give it a good shake. Paint the rest of the gun. Lead belcher covers just fine as well, so that's good to know. Now you can obviously be as neat as you like if you're doing this, but I'm just doing it very quickly for the purposes of the video. So the silver bits actually starting to look fairly decent. Get these chainsword teeth, just run your brush along the sides of them. Picks them out quite nicely. There's the power pack on the chainsword as well. Let's not forget the pommel as well. There's a wee metal bit there. I'll do a little bit of tidying up and then I'll show you what the desired end result is. So I think that does prove that it does work, just painting the colours straight onto the plastic. We've got an alright looking Intercessor there. I'd never do it myself, but if you have to, it will work. Interesting. So for this month, Imperium is absolutely incredible value. For £36 we got 3 Assault Intercessors, 3 Scorpic Destroyers, a unique Primaris Captain, and 3 Aggressors. That's amazing value. Now, I want to hear what you think in the comments below. Are you already subscribed to Imperium? Are you going to subscribe? Do you have no desire to subscribe whatsoever? Have you had a bad experience in the past? Just let me know. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.